On October 23, 2013, California State Assembly member from District 22, Kevin Mullen, and San Mateo County Supervisor Warren Slocum hosted the first annual Connect13 conference at YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California. Strengthening communities through social media was the theme, bringing together social media experts and San Mateo County attendees from business, public, and government sectors to discuss the opportunities and challenges of using social media to communicate, collaborate, legislate, and participate. Peninsula Television is proud to bring you this conference, and all of the segments are available on YouTube and at www.pentv.tv/Connect13.
Transitioning to our next speaker, it is my honor to introduce Tim Draper. Tim is the founder and managing director of Draper Fisher Jurvetson. His original suggestion to use, quote, viral marketing and web-based email to geometrically spread an internet product to its market was instrumental to the successes of Hotmail and Yahoo Mail, and has been adopted as a standard marketing technique by hundreds of businesses. His success with startups is legendary. I won't read through the long list of companies he's had a hand in guiding, but let's just say it's hundreds. Tim launched the DFJ Global Network, an international network of early-stage venture capital funds with offices in over 30 cities around the globe. Tim is the course creator and chairman of BizWorld, a 501c3 organization built around simulated teaching of entrepreneurship and business to children. He also serves on the Harvard Business School of Dean's Advisors. He also served on the California State Board of Education. He was on the board of UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business, and he has a BS in electrical engineering from Stanford and an MBA from Harvard. He recently founded Draper University of Heroes, an immersive boarding school in San Mateo here in Assembly District 22 for students 18 through 24 years old, dedicated to encouraging proactive entrepreneurship. And he's going to share that story with us today. My pleasure to bring you Tim Draper. Thank you for being here.
Great, thanks. Well, this is fun. I like that there's a mission here to spread social media around. Listening to Jack there, it made me start to think, wow, you know, if you didn't get excited by that and you're focused on government, you might want to find something else to do. Here's the other thing, and the question out there about the 7% who was not on the internet. There's an equally large, at least equally large percentage of people who don't have a plug-in phone or who don't even like looking at paper. And those are that's the young crowd. And that's who I've sort of been bringing into the town of San Mateo. I'll give you a little bit of a flavor of that. Oh, and by the way, I just want to sort of say, I like competition. Competition is good because we all get better pricing, we all get better service, all of those things. And as government is the opposite. It is a monopoly. You have to have it in your head that you really want to serve and you really want to provide that service the best possible way you can. I mean, the fact that government is a monopoly, you know, the only people I know who are not already really actively figuring out their social networking campaign either work for a utility, work for the government, work for you know, some of the education systems. But if you're in a competitive environment right now and you don't have a social network strategy, you are lost. You've probably already lost the battle. So beware. Government probably should have competition. I guess you do. Redwood City competes with San Mateo. And, you know, I guess there's a little bit of that for service. So you kind of do have a choice. In fact, I did have a choice, and I had a great choice. I got an opportunity to buy a great old building in San Mateo, and the city took a little bit of a risk on me. The hotel wasn't a big risk because the hotel had been boarded up for about 8 years. But we put a school there, and the school is Draper University of Heroes, and we've had a lot of fun with it. And it was a bit of an experiment, and we tried some new things. incidentally, all the students there use social networking for everything, and we actually had to hunt down a student. We didn't know where she had gone, and fortunately she did a post on her Facebook page and we were able to pull her back in. And we also use social networking for voting, which wouldn't be a bad idea for government to allow voting this way. We do our voting through, and there are some companies, Everyone Counts, I think, is a company that does voting that way. And we use something called Top Hat Mobile, and the students can vote on certain things or answer questions in real time as the professors come through and give them challenges. But let me tell you what we did. I've always wanted to start a school. I've always thought that education could really be advanced in new ways, because I learned I was lucky because I was able to learn through my ears and learn through my eyes, but I also like to learn by trying things and failing at them. And we give out an A grade for not making any mistakes, but we don't give out some extraordinary grade for taking a chance. And I remember getting a lot of Fs where I took a real chance on the thing, but it wasn't exactly what the teacher had in mind, but it was kind of outstanding work. And so I thought, well, how would we create a school for heroes? It's not just entrepreneurs, it's anyone who really wants to try to make some big changes, try to make the world a better place in one way or another. And so I've had a lot of fun with this. We teach future instead of history, or maybe a little history, but mostly we teach future, which is we combine predictive analytics and science fiction and projection, using projections to figure out what might be happening in the future. We get them focused on that. And then we have a part that's sort of standard business techniques, but we do design in sort of new ways. Instead of design, they do coding and website design and a lot of social media. And in marketing, we do almost all social media. It's all viral marketing, social media, crowdfunding. It's all of those kind of new, interesting methods of marketing. We push them in new ways. Finance we do in a simulation that's kind of fun. And then we have survival training, both urban and rural survival training. And it makes it lots of fun for the students. And the reason we do survival training is that if you're taking a big chance, there's a chance that it isn't going to work out, and you're going to have to survive for a while you figure out what your next plan is, whether that's go find another job or it's go start another company or whatever. We have about 55% international, so we're bringing people in from all over the world. And they have big ambitions, and most of them, when they come, they want to stay here, and they're extraordinary. These are, we're very selective on who we take. Now the word's gotten out that this is a really great experience, and it's not for everybody. It's for those unique, special individuals who have this desire to make something better or really achieve something great. And so we do have a problem, which is all of these students come here, they love the area, and then because of visas or whatever, they can't stay. And so that's been a little bit of a problem, and I keep thinking, God, we're educating these incredible people, and they're the best and the brightest from abroad, and they come here, and then I say, okay, we're ready to fund your company. Well, that's fine, but I can't stay here. I got to go back to Pakistan or to Indonesia or to Uruguay or wherever they're from. So if any of you have the power to issue visas or do anything like that, we could really use some help on that. Anyway, they come in for 8 weeks. They go through this experience. At the end, they pitch a panel of venture capitalists for 2 minutes, and by the end, they really are heroes. We've challenged them in a lot of different ways. We've had, in that 8-week period, we'll have 50 speakers come through, either great, extraordinary entrepreneurs or people who are really good at one specific thing, so that they learn something in great depth. So it's kind of a whole new way of educating people, and it's only 8 weeks. It's like a quarter. So Stanford, some of the professors at Stanford are giving units for students to come for a quarter and then come back and write a little essay or something. They get 10 units to just do that. And so we're hoping to do that with some of the other top schools in the area. And the biggest surprise for me is that it worked. We've not only done the school, but we have the advanced program, which is sort of a pre-incubator. And because I bought the building across the street, which was ironically an antique store, that couldn't pay their bills, and so they were happy to sort of let somebody else take over. And I've turned it into sort of a future, not really a store. We have a little storefront, but future store. And that's become sort of a pre-incubator. So we've brought about an average of 150 new people into the region, but what's interesting is after they graduate, they want to hang around, and they meet people there, and they bring people there, and we want these people. They are really making great things happen. We really want them in our community, and the way they communicate is through social networks. In fact, they even think when I send emails to them that's kind of like last year's program. That's the old way of communicating. Why aren't you just adding me at Twitter, or why aren't you putting something on my Facebook page? But that's what we have. So anyway, I'll leave it there, and you guys can. I'll answer any questions you have, or any thoughts, or any questions? Yeah.
Is the incubator program for graduates of the Draper University only?
No, we actually have 3 different incubators working out of that building. One is a pure incubator. One is specific. The other 2 can take students or anybody else. They're open incubators. Yeah, anybody can do that. Did you have an idea for a business that you wanted to kind of push through?
My daughter does.
Oh, terrific. Well, have her apply to Draper University. And we have an online school now, which is fun. But that doesn't bring people into San Mateo. It keeps them where they are, and but they get some of that same kind of fun, wild experience. There's another question down here. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any intersections between the work you're doing at Draper University and what's going on at Stanford's design school?
Yeah, we haven't done this yet. We have other mixers, but we plan to have mixers with the Stanford Design School, because our group is really being trained to be the one who takes the risk, the one who takes the step and moves ahead and starts the business and goes with it. They would need to work with, many of them have their own designs, many of them are coders or designers or whatever, they have visions of spaceships or whatever it is. The design center would be a good match for us. We have had mixers with other engineering groups, and we've kind of mixed it up. And those facilities are great now. We've really fixed them up, so people enjoy going there. And also there are a lot of great restaurants around those buildings, so people like to meet there. And yeah, it makes sense for us to continue to work with the design center or any engineering groups anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, way back.
Can you describe the application process and how much it costs?
Yeah, It's 9,500, which turns out to be about 1/2 of Stanford for a quarter. That's great. It's so, I mean, it's a loss leader for us. We're in effect giving that service away. And then I think we're going to $850 for the online school, and we do give scholarships for extraordinary people. In fact, we're pretty much need blind. So if there is somebody really extraordinary, and they can't, like we have, there's a guy from Ghana who couldn't afford anything, but somehow got himself here, and teams from all over, that just can't quite afford it, but they have the right chops to make a great business happen. Way in the back.
Age level?
Yeah, it's 18 to 28. We kind of want them after high school. We want them to be adults because they've, in effect, got to sign their life away when they join us. But after 28, we're thinking of doing like a 2-week executive course so that people can, because after you're 28, if you really shouldn't be taking more than 2 weeks off, I don't think. But 18 to 28, I think, is a great time because it's either after high school, when you're in college and kind of wondering why you're learning all the things you're learning, and after college, where you're going, whoa, it's a big world out there. This may be a way for me to sort of understand that big world before I jump in. The sort of perfect candidate is probably a year out of college, so that they've had a job and they sort of thought, well, okay, now I need a bigger base from which to go. And then if they're 28, they really should be well on their way to building a business. That's kind of the way. Yeah, way back.
Two questions. One, do you have an example of an incubator that's successful, something that's come out of the university? And then the second,
You mean a company that has come out of the university that's successful? Yeah.
is there an example?
Yeah, I'll give you one. It's great. She was just back. She was a part of our pilot program, and her name was Surbi Sarna, wonderful Indian woman, and she came up with a new medical device, which apparently is thin enough and small enough that it can go up the fallopian tubes. So it's a camera. And so it can spot things that the other snaky things couldn't spot. And she has built a business that now, she just got $4 million in financing, and she's off to the races. And that all started at Draper University. We actually have quite a few of those stories. They're not quite, that's the furthest along anybody is, but we have a lot of moderate success stories where people went through our program, and whether they went through the incubator or not, they were able to get some funding. Yeah.
The second question, is it such a bad thing that you train somebody to go back to their home country?
No, it's a great thing, because it's great for their home country. It's just, I mean, if you're America and you have this, if you're a part of government in America, you're thinking about America. You're not thinking about all the other countries. For me, I think it's fantastic. They come in, they learn all this stuff, they go out, they spread the good word of the global Silicon Valley to the rest of the world. It's a great thing. It creates more competition, creates more better services for all of us. Our lives all get better. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing whether they stay or not. For me, I'd like them to stay. These are great people. I'd like them around. Yeah, there was another hand. Yeah.
Do they have to be graduates, and what percentage of the local young people?
We're blind to the local people. We had a lot of locals that are in our pilot. This last session was very low local population. I kind of like having some locals in there because they occasionally can bring some of the students back to their house for a party or something, and for security reasons. But we're right next to a hospital, and we think that that's healthy. Can be. So anyway, we do like the locals, but we don't favor them in the application process. No, it's gone. Well, it varies. So our first session, it was like 40% local, and this last session was about 5% local. So we have very small. It depends on what you mean by local, but if you're talking about like a 50-mile radius, maybe it's 10%, something like that. I don't know what steady state will be. It's a matter of who finds out about it and where they come from. We've had 5 Estonians. Go figure. Maybe it's because we funded Skype. Anyway, is that it?
Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.